Pastor Daile.
Thank you.
We've had over a year of working together
Sure, yeah.
to get prepared for you teaching Greek, me handing over communicative language teaching of Greek into your hands.
Yes.
And we've done several different things, but one of them was intensive reading of one story.
Yes.
What was the story?
The first story was Mark
Right.
9, verse 14 up to
Mark.
29.
Mark 9, 14 to 29.
Yeah.
It's not a short story,
It is not.
yeah,
No.
but it's manageable.
Yeah.
It's about the boy. They come off the mountain. The boy gets possessed, or is possessed by a
The
spirit.
evil spirit, yes.
The father is there and said, "If you can help," and so on. Yeah. So, how did you go about studying it? What did you do?
Yeah, the first day I just read the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first day, the first reading, I didn't get like 100%
Mm-hmm.
of the story, but I read it a couple of times, maybe 2-3 times, I don't know. Then now, it's when I started now reading like piece by piece, maybe like 2 verses for a day, and read it really, thinking deeper about it, trying to pronounce the words,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so that.
And that was the Hoffman method, right?
Yes, yeah.
So the Hoffman method, we broke all that whole story up into pieces, and there was a schedule. This week, this much.
Yes, yeah.
Next week, this much plus this much. So it was cumulative. Right?
Yes.
And you were attempting to memorize it too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Hoffman method went, what was it, 4? It's something like read it for 4 times.
Yes.
For day 1, read it 4 times, and then say it 4 times.
Yes.
And day 2, read it 3 times out loud, and then say it 3 times, bit by bit, all the way up until day 7,
Yeah.
where you're saying, read it once, and then say it out loud once, right?
Yes.
So you had difficulty with that, right? It didn't, in the end, you really didn't memorize the whole story, did you?
No, I didn't memorize the whole story, but I memorized, bit and pieces of the story. But I think one thing which I like about that is intensive reading about it, about the story, which enhanced my pronunciation and even just knowing vocabularies from Greek. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think kind of knowing, what could we say, the music of the language?
Sure.
Like what sounds are possible together?
Yeah.
Because you're repeating this over and over and over. How many days did you spend on that one story? Do you remember?
Yes, is it 6 weeks? Yeah, about 6 weeks.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Reading it every day.
Yeah.
Sure.
And in the end, though, you couldn't recite the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even today, you could read it very fluently, right?
Yes.
When was the last time you ever looked at that story?
Wow. Like really reading it?
Yeah.
Oh. It's a month too, I think.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you a Bible and give you the story and ask you to read a part of it.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Which is no problem, right?
I hope so.
Okay, Mark 9.
Yeah.
And this is not your Bible.
No, it's not, but also
Mark, you don't have your glasses?
My glasses.
But you can manage.
I
Mark
will try.
9, what was it, 14?
Yes.
Yeah. Just do like 2 verses.
Yeah, now without my glasses. Okay. Και ελθόντες προς τους μαθητές είδον οχρούν πολλήν περί αυτούς και γραμματείς συζητούντας προς αυτούς και ελθούς προς ο όκρος είδον αυτόν ευθραβέθεσαν και προτρέχοντες εσπάζον το αυτόν και απερωτέσεν αυτούς. Τι σου ζητείτε προς αυτούς?
Very good, very good. Now, you were sitting here holding this Bible like this, and both of your hands were tied up with the Bible.
Sure.
Did you feel like, yes, you felt like...
If like I had my glasses, I could at least use one of my hand, at least.
Yes.
Because if I say, suzetultos, it's easy.
Yeah.
Idom poru,
Yep.
yeah.
So that was part of the memorization.
That was it.
Explain that.
Yeah, it's like, when you are speaking, your gestures compensate with your language, with your wording. Like, you are saying things, and even in my memorization, I could like my favorite piece of it, Enen canton mu processé, e contact nevma aron. So now when I'm...
Yeah, let's do that slower so we get it. So you said, Enenka, which is to carry, Enenkan,
Enenkan ton
vion, the child, mu, Enenkan, they carried my child, Proset, to you. Yeah.
Yes.
What was it? I forget.
Enenkan ton process, e contact.
Ekonta pneuma alon. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I know the story pretty well too, because I memorized the same one. Yeah. So that was an intentional part of the exercise. We wanted to intensively read or even memorize a part of the Bible, well, really a part of just Greek language. A story worked because it had a narrative, it had a beginning and an end. It was long enough, it was challenging, but on top of it we must do gestures.
Yes.
And I think that gestures really can help to make language alive in your head.
Yes.
And what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, it's true. Because for me, it's when I'm saying like, Karen, and you say, Huion, Mu, and when it's, of course, it makes that the story live in my mind. It's there, and I can picture things as I'm doing gestures. Say, oh, my son, to you.
Yep.
So I'm pointing if it's as if I'm seeing them. So if it's as if I'm communicating to somebody, if I say, oh, say, yeah.
You feel it, you can see it, it becomes real.
Yeah.
I just did a conference with pastors in Osaka, and we memorized together a really small bit of Greek. We said, Pontus, Ryu, Theu, Esmen. Okay, you understand, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I learned there that African sign language, so to speak, or gestures for a child was this.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
no, we don't have any gesture for a child.
Yeah, when I say I can
if you went like this, there must be an animal or something.
Yeah, so like this.
Or this.
This
this would be an animal?
Yes, dog, goat, cow.
Up to this point?
In the exercise, if I say this is small.
But this is my child.
This is my child.
My hand on his head. That's very interesting.
Sure.
So then we were doing gestures. We said, Pontus, all, Ryu, sons, Theu, Esmen. And the whole group, 17 pastors who were there, no, how many? Aside from me, 19 pastors were all doing this together several times, and it really got in their heads. I could feel it, I could see it.
Yes.
Adding gesture to language is a really important part. Now, you and I have talked how this strategy, the purpose is to build your Greek comprehension. And we've talked how this was good, but maybe a person can't do it all the time. It's an intensive thing you do for a while, and then you leave it.
Yeah.
So we did this intensively a year ago, and then not long ago we said, okay, let's do it one more time with a story from John, right?
Yeah.
So now this time we're talking about, well, don't worry about memorizing exactly, but just intensively read it.
Yeah.
So are you going to use that same Hoffman method, or what's your intention?
Yes, I will still use that because now I've done it so many times that now,
It's natural.
it's natural. When I'm reading for the first time, okay, I will read a passage for the first time many times, but for sure I need to break it. So wherever I break it, it helps me to better understand and then build on that understanding every time I'm reading.
Good.
So I think I will still continue that method.
Yeah. I think intensive reading of a story in Greek, that made me break through a plateau in my Greek learning some years ago.
Okay.
And I suggested to you, and I wasn't sure if it would work with others, but I'm more and more convinced that this is a good strategy. If you're an autodidact, you're teaching yourself, you're on your own, and you can't speak with others necessarily, how can you build Greek comprehension in your brain? Intensively learn a story.
Yeah, and I don't know, the other thing which I thought is when you are reading like silently on your own, when it comes to language learning, sometimes for me, maybe I'm speaking to myself here, it's difficult, but when you are reading loud and you can hear, so every time you make it, I was making mistakes. I make a mistake, I'll stop. Because I could catch with my ear, or my mouth, couldn't. You see?
Yeah,
so,
that you bring up a good point. Reading intensively in this way requires reading out loud and doing gestures. I think those two things.
Yeah.
And being very, very disciplined. Keeping to that schedule every single day.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good.
Oh.